No, I don't have anything to. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to
Well,
be online again. 2 weeks in a row.
hello, hello, people. How's it going? How's it
Oh,
going,
well.
Chuji?
Chuji.
And we have a special guest with us here today.
Hell yeah, we do.
Would you like to introduce him, Chuji?
I would. You know what? Because of the way we set this up, I don't know what awesome name you've put under this gentleman. How are we referring to Captain Baseball Cap today? That's a genuine question. Should I call you by your name, or are we calling you something on the stream? Says the guy who can't see what is the name underneath you.
It's NotThatDeebo.
All right. How you doing, man? It's good to have you on board. Why don't you tell everybody what you're up to and what you do for us, in case they have no idea who this magnificent hair is.
Well, thank you for the magnificent hair compliment. You know, I need what I can get these days, especially towards the weekend. So hi, everybody. Yeah, I am the live game director for World of Tanks Modern Armor. And I'm excited to meet you all for the first time. I'm stepping into some pretty big shoes, quite honestly. I know Pain God left a really, really huge impression on the whole community, and obviously was, an instrumental part of making the game what it's been, what it is, and what it was, what it's evolving towards. And I want to be real, clear with all of you guys that it's your game, right? I do get that, and I do get that there's a lot of work to still be done, and we've got a lot of people who are eager to do that work. And I do hope you'll be at least a little patient with me while I get my hands around some of it, because obviously we've got a game with a long history and a lot of features, and okay, maybe some controversy here and there too.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to work my way through that stuff, and I'm going to be relying on people like Bam and like Chuji and Hector and all the rest to get us through all of that stuff.
Exciting times, man. It's good to have you on board. I see recent times as an opportunity to get more faces in front of the players and, expose everybody to everybody. It says in my notes, and I'm going to shock everybody watching. Yes, we have cheat sheets and notes. We don't do this off the cuff all the time. But where's your dad joke? You got to start with the dad joke. Give us a dad joke.
Okay, here's the dad. Okay, here we go. Here's NotThatDeebo's dad joke. And no, this is not going to be an ongoing feature, so have no fear.
Yeah, famous last words.
Two people in a rowboat in the middle of the desert. One looks at the other one and says, "Where's your oar?" The other one says, "Sure does."
Oh my God. You ask and you shall receive, I guess.
You asked for it. I wasn't going to go there, but you asked for it.
Can we just disconnect him now, or do we have to live with him for the next, what is this?
Cut.
All right. You know what? There's no other way to segue from Oars in the Desert than to mention the Independent season, where I believe on week 7, and there's not much longer to finish and get all those rewards. I think it's just over a week, if I'm right. Does that jive with what everybody's thinking? That's worth pointing out. It's a cool season. And also new Cold War Independent Tech Tree tanks. We got those so that we could show everybody while I'm talking about them?
Absolutely. Let's take a look.
All right, let's do it. And assuming they can still hear me, we got ourselves Marksava Mark III, Mark II-C, and Mark I. If you're interested, looking at those fantastic machines, the Mark I, it's hovering just a scooch over 52% win rate, and it's doing about 3,987 damage on average per battle. I love talking about this kind of stuff because numbers are fun, and numbers are how you prove or disprove and make the game. One of the ways to consider how to make the game better, you also have to measure subjective response as well as objective response. But before we go any deeper into that, the Mark II-B here's at about 57.2% win rate. Wow, that's pushing. That's good. Whenever you're a full 7 above 50, that's showing. That's a strong showing. So go 2B, and that's averaging about 4,200, almost 4,300 damage, 4,281 if you want the exact average. Try to meet that average or exceed it. And the Mark III is even better with a 58.5% win rate, and it is averaging about 5,209, about 5,200 per battle. So those are some cool vehicles. You a Marksava fan? Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning a bit. Like I freely admit, and no, please don't anybody go too far with it. Like I'm more of a World War II guy myself.
Okay.
Just gonna go there. And so I haven't gotten my Marksava jam on to the extent that some of these like much more skilled players have. But I'm certainly enthused to see that like people are doing damage with it because that is the goal. Like let's go crush. So, and to be honest, I'm glad players are having that experience because that's the whole point of putting these things out. Like if it's not crushing, we sure want to know why, right? Why isn't it fun? Why aren't you kicking ass with it? Let's find out.
Oh, that's cool. Absolutely. It's always that fine balance, right? Of keeping the player happy, keeping the ecosystem healthy, and punch, counter punch, iterate, feedback, that whole pile of awesomeness. I'm going to keep jamming at the risk of going hyper fast. By the way, Hector, monitor the time. If I start turning into a spaz, pump the brakes on me here. But I'm moving to pairs matchmaking.
All right. Let's talk pairs.
Started yesterday, I think. The 28th, right? I believe that's correct.
Yes.
And it's this initiative, I believe, ends around August 1st. And it will fix some issues with one team getting 2 top-tier platoons and the other team getting 2 bottom-tier platoons, because that doesn't feel good for one of those 2 teams. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So while we're talking about that, if you have any feedback on that while you're playing until August 1st, and even after, I mean, we'll keep reading the feedback or however you send it to us. Pass it to our community channels through Discord, Reddit, and there's also going to be a survey, I believe.
Right, and there's a Discord channel. There's a Discord channel for the matchmaker out there right now. So please get your feedback in there, and understand we know nothing's perfect. We get it, and the matchmaker's continuing to evolve. You saw we went to the class-based one. Now we're into the pairs-based matchmaker. It's a process of refinement. And I'm not ever going to say, hey, it's 100% done, right? Because things change over time. Player habits change over time. Which tanks you're playing change over time. We'll continue to keep on top of it. And we'll continue to keep adjusting it and watching it and doing our best to make sure it gets us as close as is practically possible to really good matches for you guys. Because that's always the goal.
For sure. It's interesting. Like if you end up with one team with 2 top-tier platoons and one team with 2 bottom-tier tiers, English just failed me. Rebooting mouth. If the platoon delta is bad, there we go. I'll dial it back until I can communicate what I want to say. There's a concept that the design team talks about sometimes called the law of conservation of fun, because there is a team in that case that actually has a huge advantage, and those 15 tankers are probably going to be pretty stoked to experience that, but you can't bias that or do that on purpose, because then half of that scenario is having their fun stripped because of a mistake. So it'll be cool to see if this is actually going to move the needle. I'm excited for that. And it looks like we're also doing a premium bonus for the M1A2 Abrams and T-72BU lines. I believe that's the line for both of them. So that's a good thing to have, some premium bonuses there. And we got some contracts out live, the Thresher and the Chisel. You said you're a World War II guy. Do you have a favorite Merc tank, or just you get them when you can? Or how do you make your decision on contracts, you think? Just whichever one aesthetically looks cool to you, the class?
Well, I consult astrological charts. I am a firm believer.
Just shot soda all over the camera. Keep going.
I'm a firm believer in the reading of tea leaves, other rituals designed to make me comfortable with making a decision, and then I go chisel.
And then you just go chisel. It's all about the chisel. That's cool. Yeah, I like that tank too. That's a pretty cool tank. Very, very cool. Hector, I got a query for you.
What's that?
If we talk about a new Cold War tank and maybe, I don't know, give it away after showing it off. Cool, meh, skip that part.
Yeah,
nobody likes give it away, right?
We can do it.
I like giving away stuff. I've never given away stuff. This is my first time. Are we giving away stuff?
Oh, we can talk you and the players through how the giveaway goes, because we can talk about that every stream. We don't know how much new blood's watching the stream, and if you know how the giveaways work and you're listening to us flap our lips, thank you for tolerating a repeat. But first, let's look at the Type 63 HK That's twice in less than 5 minutes. If I smile and only half my mouth goes up.
HG90.
Thank you. I hope I'm not stroking out. That's where that was going.
There's nothing I can do to help you at that point, Jeff. I'll just say it's been nice working with you.
Yeah, I'm used to not having any help. It's fine. That thing.
Ouch, man! Yeah. I just got here already with the daggers.
But that thing looks cool, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I really like about that?
I just really want it to be a boat.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're not alone on that. Like that actually. Let's take a step back. Two things, because I want to talk about the boatness of it. First of all, in terms of the giveaway, Hector, help us out here. How do people, if they don't know, climb on board, or should that be self-evident?
All right. So for a chance to win this giveaway here of our lovely boat-esque tank, go ahead and hit this link that I'm about to link and just answer the question. Simple answer. It's what is your WG ID? So that'd be like Tankz0rz -P for PlayStation or -X for Xbox. And as long as you fill it out once for the day, you are all set for the rest of the giveaways for this stream.
Very, very cool. So I think while everyone is entering their deets to get some awesomeness, talk a little bit more about just the Type 63 and boat mechanics. We've actually, and I think we touched on this last stream as well. Like we've actually like started to talk and pursue what that could look like. One of the things that I really like to talk about is there are initiatives and ideas that actually get on the screen sometimes in the development environment that never see the light of day, either because they're not cooked yet, or they were poo, or that's the official design term, or for various reasons language. It needs more time to cook. So the aquatic version, and by that I literally mean you can go, like, let's say you're in Lakeville and just go cut straight across the middle. The functionality as well as the impact to the game and how you might play that game all have to be considered before we would ever implement and greenlight something like that. But that's a fun thing to play with that we actually take a look at when we do vehicles like these. I hope we do more of that stuff. I think there's no shortage of stuff to try, both in terms of what the players are bringing to the table and what the ideas the developers have. But it's some cool stuff.
Yeah, I love experiments. Right, experiments are super fun. Especially when they're, measurable, right? And you can say, oh, this actually taught us something, right? And helps us make a good decision going forward. Trying stuff, I like trying stuff sometimes just to try stuff, but that's a little less like tangible to people, right? Like I'd rather have an experiment where we say, okay, let's introduce this and we're going to figure out how we measure whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's just kind of meh. All that sort of stuff matters a lot.
Very much so. This is a good segue. There's a question that's been called to my attention from, if I screw this up, I'm not, Talabumbum, is that correct? Or is it Tailbumbum? I think it's Talabumbum. It's specifically for you, what is a live game director and what is your day typically like? That's a great question.
Okay. Oh, yes, I see it now. Thank you. I apologize for being a little slow finding the questions here. Like I said, I'm new. Have a little pity on the guy. Okay. So, what does a live game director do? What's on his daily schedule? All right. I'm gonna engage in a little philosophy here, and I hope I won't bore the audience too much. So please bear with me, guys. I'll try to keep it short. My goal for being live game director is be like oxygen. Okay? Be useful, be available, but be invisible. The only time you notice oxygen, or think about it is when either there's not enough of it or when there's something really, really rank in the air and it is offending your nose. And, so the goal is to not be either one of those things, right? It's to be there, to be assistive to the rest of the team, clear obstacles for the team when they arise, and set people up to do their thing as well as they can do it. I'm a director in title, but direction isn't so much what you do. It's how you facilitate. I'm really more, you could call me live game facilitator if you want. That's how I like to think of the role, because I'm not marching around saying, do this thing, do that thing, you over there, jump to it. It's not that. That's not the gig at all. And don't get me wrong, some people are really, really good in that mode. That's not what I do. I try to facilitate. I try to keep things moving. And like I said, clear obstacles where they exist, be available to people if they want, hey, I got an idea for a thing. Let's noodle on it for a bit. I'm there to be a sounding board, provide guidance or help wherever I can. And my day is a lot of calls. It's a lot of meetings. And it's a lot of impromptu conversations with people like Chuji. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, this Arty stuff. Let's noodle on that some more, because that needs lots and lots of love and attention, so that we can do something cool. So all of the above. I don't know if I've answered your question. I hope so.
As a follow-up, British Human is wondering if you would this is my translate. The literal question is, does the live game director play the game casually? How I would put that to you, because I'm also curious, is do you consider yourself an expert at the game or more of an average tanker?
That's a good one. I will be 100% honest. That's always my goal. I am by no means an expert. Like, I cannot imagine that I can't imagine there's a single player watching this stream right now who couldn't just kick my ass up and down the battlefield. Being honest with you about that. I'm exceedingly average, and to be clear, that's not because I don't love the game. It's just I'm not the world's best at these kinds of things. I will tell you right now, anybody who ever looked at my Call of Duty KD ratio, it ain't pretty. I mean, I'm the guy you invite because I normally drag the matchmaker down so that you get a better lobby. I'm that guy. And like I said, I'm just not super good at that stuff. I love it. It's hard for me, and things that are hard are kind of fun to do and challenging to do. So, I would say that, yeah, I'm somebody you would probably raffle stomp if you're good at the game. Nice. If that helps. Nice.
No,
and I really strongly hope that doesn't make you think that I don't care about the game, or that I don't understand what's good for the game and what would make you guys happy, because obviously that's my goal, right? And to a certain extent, I don't even want to be super elite at the game, because I don't want to narrow my focus to only that set of concerns that the very, very best of the best have. I want to be able to do things that please the hardcore players, but then I also want to be able to do things that please new players and help them get into the game and start to enjoy it and become hardcore players. So that whole spectrum, I want to try to keep my eyes open to all of those things and look at it from, that zoomed out perspective, more than zooming in too much into one area. And this goes back to the previous question about being a live game director. I'm not there to drill in and micromanage the details. We have super committed people and super smart people to dig into those things and get into the minutia and work through those details. And I'm just there to assist with that, right? And keep my eye on the big picture.
Gotcha. No, I think that's helpful. That's helpful for people to know what makes you tick. Hey, do we have a winner, or am I jumping the gun? Is that too early? Should we let that cook more, or what do you think, Hector?
We'll let it cook a little bit. But
we're going to
also,
let it cook.
On that note, it seems like some people might be new, and I didn't explain myself correctly, but in order to enter this giveaway, don't enter your details into chat. Click on the link that I just posted and fill out that questionnaire and put your details in there. And then we'll be pulling names from that list. Well,
thanks for slowing my roll. And yeah, the link that's in chat, not the chat itself. And the link will provide you the opportunity to input what we need to give you cool stuff. All right. While we're waiting for that to cook.
So we talked about the new tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that come with new skins as well, or?
Oh, did I forget to talk about? Yeah, there's a new there's a water dragon skin that is super cool. I really like the skin system. I like being able to take a tank that I already think looks really cool and make it look a different kind of cool. In some cases, cooler. And this tank comes with the water dragon skin, and they get both the tank and the water dragon skin if they're the lucky, winner. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool as well, man. You got to give them the choice, right? Put the skin on, take the skin off. And you can also change which seasons you want the skin on. Like sometimes for pure vanity, and I'm not above it, I'll use the skin on a vehicle for maybe like urban and winter, but change it up for summer and desert just because I feel like it. And you could just put a normal camo on.
So vain.
I am pretty vain.
I bet you think that song is about you.
What song is not
Don't
about
you?
me? Every song is about me.
Sorry,
Thanks
old
for the
Farley Simon reference. I don't expect anyone to care.
Cool. You know what? I care.
That means a lot.
Oh, we had a moment there. We
We totally did. We kind of locked eyes across the internet. It was special.
That's right. For those who don't know, we are still different hybrid office, work from home, or in the office sometimes. So, Dan, I don't know where you are. You don't know where I am, and that's the way it was meant to be.
Yeah, because if you could find me, I would be worried.
Cool. I want to hit at least one more question, and then we'll keep cooking, and I will rely on Hector, who is going to keep both of us honest on saying, hey, wait, we need to give stuff away or announce a winner. The thing that I wanted, where did it go? Another thing, we're getting a lot of good questions, so sometimes it scrolls off screen, and that is my fault, not yours. Because we're talking about it. Is the 63HG worth using as a ramming tank? It's a light tank. I normally don't recommend using a light tank as a ramming tank because while you can get a good head of steam, the impact may not be in your favor. However, if that is your play style, if you want to be a battering ram, there are equipment and skills for your 3D commander or your tank itself that you could put on there to maximize the impact and minimize the reciprocal damage. If that's your jam, you can make your build lend itself to that as much as you can. But normally I wouldn't recommend that playstyle unless
I kind of dig it. Like,
you gonna try that?
I just like the idea, like, hey, I shouldn't be able to do this. How well can I do this in this thing that is maybe not ideally suited? That's always a fun task, right? Like, can I snipe you from range with a shotgun? Same kind of idea, right? Like, you shouldn't be able to do that, but if you pull it off, it's awesome.
So now, just so you know, there's probably a huge text scroll of people saying you're the guy that snipes with the heavy. That's probably exactly.
No, I can promise you that I don't snipe. I do not snipe. I am not a sniper. I respect them all greatly, but that is not what's fun for me.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, if you're talking about ramming in a light, that's kind of agnostic of sniping, so that makes sense to me.
I just love the attitude of I'm going to ram you with my light tank. I think I really support that wholeheartedly.
You heard it here first, everyone.
Let's go ahead and pull a winner here.
Let's do it.
And our winner for the Type 63HG90, along with the wonderful Water Dragon skin, is Ninja Gamer 4107.
Ninja Gamer 4107. Congratulations, Ninja Gamer 4107. Does that mean there's 4,106 other Ninja Gamers out there? And is that joke said every time a gamer tag with a number at the end is announced? Probably to the latter.
You're actually making me feel like my rowboat joke was preferable. I'm just being honest.
Chuji, I think we're all Ninja Gamers here. Somewhere deep down inside.
If you really think about it, who isn't a Ninja Gamer? You know who is a Ninja Gamer is our winner Ninja Gamer, who was 4107. Did I remember that? Did my gray matter work?
That is correct.
Yeah, congratulations. All right. You know what else is exciting? Because that's super cool. A 24th anniversary for Wargaming. That's pretty cool, too.
24. Oh, my goodness.
4. That is a long freaking time. I wonder, honest question, and this is not ageism. I wonder how many of our tankers are younger than 24 years old. I don't know the answer to that, but it's not 0%. And that's kind of exciting, too. They've been with us since, they were born during the age of wargaming. That's cheesy, but you know what I mean. That's cool.
Wargaming era. Yes.
That's cool. And how are we celebrating? You want to talk about some of the ways we're celebrating this? I'm stealing all the thunder.
I would like to talk about some of that. Let me go over a couple of these, see how I do. So there's going to be a premium tech tree sale, including Cold War tanks.
Nice.
There's going to be a free XP conversion sale for both tank and commander XP. We're going to have XP to free XP exchange. We're going to have free XP to crew XP exchange.
At what ratio?
Trade-in event, the trade-up list. Keep your eyes open for that because we're going to be putting that up after the stream. It'll be in the notes. From the vault sales, we're going to bring that. Eligible retired premium tier 2 and tier 3 tanks will be available in the store for those of you who, have a little bit of a nostalgic, love for those tiers of tanks that we've retired a while ago. I think that might be fun. Bundles. We're going to have skin and commander variety packs. We're going to have an anniversary op, the T95E2 57 post-war medium. That's going to take the place of the month-long earn ops for the duration of the anniversary celebration.
I like that swap.
I think that's a fun one, yeah. Do we want to move on to the next? Do you want to move on to the next bit here? I've covered the anniversary stuff. Do you want to take the next bit or should I?
Well, you know what? Why don't you keep cooking with gas? I'm super pumped for all those things you talked about with the 24th anniversary, but I think you're the one that got me excited. Why don't you talk about it?
All right. Okay. I expect spicy reactions from here on out. Spicy reactions. Okay. So we got Tankz Reforged, Soviet heavy weapon updates. We've rebalanced the penetration values for some of the 85 millimeter and 122 millimeter guns so that as you progress to higher tiers, the penetration ability is going to increase accordingly. In general, the gun penetration changes on the impacted vehicles are going to look something like Tier 6 85 millimeter gun is going to have 144 millimeters of penetration. That's up from 120. Tier 7 85 millimeter will have 160 millimeters of pen. Again, that's improved from 144. Tier 7, 122 millimeter will keep its 175 millimeters of penetration. No change. Tier 8, that 122 millimeter gun is now going to start with 190 millimeters of penetration, up from 175. Tier 9, 122 millimeter will now start with 217 millimeters of penetration, again, up from 175. The KV5 and Goranch, sorry, I'm bad with this. The Gornich, if I'm getting it as close as I can, I'm sorry, goes from 167 to 175 for the standard round.
That's cool. One thing, as I don't want to skip over it, is it's important to also say when we're rattling off all of these heavy weapons, like what isn't changing, because I think it's important to note that that tier 7. I'm glad you said that because someone might assume everything's getting buffed, and that's not the case. So being transparent about that is bravo. And honestly, man, tier 9 from 175 to 217, that's no small change. That's one healthy boost. That's some cool stuff. I'm excited to play those. I haven't actually played those, so I have.
It's going to be exciting to try out. And again, just from like a big picture perspective, super interested to see how it influences performance. We're going to have a lot of data on this, and we're going to be able to say, hey, did this meaningfully move the dial on some of these things, right? Like, was this a positive influence? Did more people want to play that tank, right? Did win rates change? All that sort of stuff. We're going to be super interested to see the impact of those changes, and hopefully maybe that didn't turn out to be as great an idea as we thought, and maybe we'll make some adjustments. So all of this stuff is going to be an ongoing conversation.
Very cool.
What else we got?
You know what? I'll take the next two because those aren't as sexy. They're super cool though. We're going to do an on track.
You need to make them sexy. Come on, sell me.
Dear Lord. All right. You know who loves the Object 277? Everyone who's going to on track to the. I mean, you were talking about tankers out there that can kick your butt, destroy you, and me as well. I mean, I'm not going to try to front. I have my favorites and I can hold my own, but I do get steamrolled quite often. We're going to recognize some players in specific tanks that are just noteworthy AF, I'll say. And I think that's okay to say on the stream. But if you're wondering what AF stands for, as fully possible, that's exactly what that means. Yeah.
You sure?
100%.
I thought, well, Tankz0rz has the dump button, so we should be okay.
Yeah. As fully possible. I'm sticking with that. I'm too excited. I'm going to do the first one. Maybe we could just tag team these. So for the Marksava Mark 1 performance, and Hector, before I screw up, we're announcing the confidential bit, right? Or is that a super secret?
So all these players here,
yeah,
usually we end up butchering their names, and in return we give them a confidential keycard.
Okay, so the reason I was tripping is the word confidential paralyzed my tiny gerbil brain going, does that mean don't say that? Or does that mean that's what they get? So I appreciate you with the assist. So every one of these awesome players, tankers, gets a confidential key card. And for the Marksava Mark 1, the most damage caused in a single battle, which was 18,126 damage in a single AF battle, is Withybog 92838. With Ybog 92838. Congratulations. That's impressive. And because it's not just about doing damage, it's about resisting or blocking damage. The most damage blocked in a single battle is just over 10 grand, 10,115 in a single battle, and that's Stranic 7970. So congratulations to those two tankers,
well
and
done.
Get a confidential key card. That's awesome.
Well done.
Why don't you take the next one?
I'll do it. Marksava Mark 2B Performance Awards. Again, the winners get a confidential key card. Congrats to you. Most damage caused in a single battle, 17,981 damage by Redskins 0552. Most damage blocked in a single battle, 11,390 by Dead Angel 423. Congrats to you both. Very solid stuff.
Man, anytime you're in the over 10K club on either of these stats, that ain't nothing.
I am jealous.
Yeah. So in the interest of going back and forth, the Mark III Marksava, which actually, let me say Marksava Mark III, because I don't 100% know this, but the Mark III Marksava might actually be a different thing. So it's the Marksava Mark III, just in case. Most damage caused, over 20,000, 20,786 single battle by BBB1024 or BBB1024 or Better Business Bureau Department 1024. One of those three is true. And the most damage blocked in a single battle is 13,235, and that's by Dead Tankers. I'm assuming that is one tanker, not a whole bunch of dead tankers that each blocked one damage.
I think that's a person who leaves a lot of dead tankers in their wake.
Apparently so, or at least denies a bunch of
tankers.
Vibe. That's super cool. Congratulations, both of you, for your confidential key card. Awesome.
I appreciate the pronunciation of the 1024 guy.
Yes.
I make no assumptions.
Okay. What about the milestones? We doing those?
Yeah, let's do them.
All right. Big thank you and congratulations to Mad Mags 60 and Rob Marley 305 for reaching 100,000 battles played. Thank you so much. I mean, seriously, genuinely, we appreciate you. That is an amazing investment in playing the game, and we love you for it. We really do.
100%. Congratulations
and thanks also to My S. Jimmy Nil for reaching 110,000 battles played. That's a really big milestone in and of itself. Super impressive.
That is off the chain.
And, saving the biggest and the baddest for last. Out of a group of people who have made an amazing investment into playing our game, here's someone who really, really reached for it. This is congratulations to Detty1 for 140,000 battles played.
Boy,
that's an amazing milestone. You have my respect.
That is. I wonder if Detty1 likes the game. That is incredible. I'm trying to think if I've done 140,000 anything in my life. I've probably taken 140,000 steps.
I've probably eaten 140,000 Slim Jims.
Oh, Jesus.
today.
Well, okay, yeah, and all right, yeah. Let's not talk about what my doctor says to me at my annual physical. But yeah, 100. Wow, those are some amazing numbers, guys. And yeah, again, thanks so much for playing. I mean, that's incredible.
You know what I would do? I would walk 140,000 miles, and I would walk 100. No, I'm not gonna. We're gonna get.
I'm sorry.
Copyright claimed.
What is it that you are proclaiming, sir?
Oh no, dad joke number 2 at least.
Oh, you walked right into it. Fell into the trap.
I opened the door. You walked straight through. Which, and you'll bear with me, sir, is a great segue into Mark's excellence. Dan, what do you got?
Okay. All right. So here is my first and deadliest challenge of the stream: is what to say about marks of excellence. First, I will start out with a plea. Please don't kill me. I'm new here. I have nothing but good intentions. With that said, I get it. Marks of excellence are a hot topic. They are a controversial topic. What I will say about them right now is I understand where we were, in, say, the 5.0 past. I understand where we were with marks of excellence and how they changed around 6.0, which, of course, there are a lot of feelings about 6.0, and I get that too. I know that they've changed again. And I know that people have lots and lots of very strong feelings on this matter. I'm sensitive to that. I get it. I will say that I am not going to overturn the apple cart. That's just not how I work. I'm not going to throw everything in the air and say, okay, we're going to go 100% this way or 100% that way. What I'm going to commit to doing is getting my hands around MOE, the past, the present, and where we think we want to go with it in the future, and come up with a clear and well-communicated plan and tell you, here's how it works. And here's how you have told us you want it to work. Here's what we think we're going to do with it. Get feedback, provide you with data. We're going to say, here's how we're projecting that it's going to work in the future, et cetera, et cetera. And I understand there may be, somebody says, just make it work the way it used to. And in order for me to even say yes or no to something like that, I have to get my hands around, well, how exactly did it work? Remember my prior statement about I'm at a big picture level. The minute details of these things down to the computational level, there are other people who know a lot more about that than I do today. And I'm going to be in there getting myself educated, getting a handle on the entire history of the thing and how we got to where we are today. And then I'm going to have some things to say to everybody about here's what we're going to do going forward. And I promise you, I'm going to listen and I'm going to pay attention and I'm going to do my homework. So that's my statement on marks of excellence. And like I said, cool. please be kind. I have nothing but good intentions. Okay.
You know what I like about what I'm picking up from what you're saying is it seems to me, I'll phrase this as a question. Are you approaching this more from an objective, less emotive standpoint, like relying on the feedback in order to make the right, choice, what the players want, need, and what's in the game, versus what someone else might be doing in terms of this is how I want it, and I'm going to do it this way because it's my game. Gosh darn it! Is that an accurate way to kind of frame your perspective, or am I in the weeds?
No, that's a good way of putting it. I want to deal in facts as much as is possible. Now, we're talking about games, and we're talking about the fact that we don't play games for facts. We play games for fun. And if there are facts in the game that support our fun, hey, I want, it's really fun that I can go and look and see what the gun depression is and what the armor thickness is. Those are facts that make it fun for me, right? If there are facts that, don't make it fun, then we're into the realm of more of subjective feelings and what feels good, right? So there's a lot of range in between. Here are facts, here are feelings. I just want to thread the needle there. I just want to find what's the right balance there, because you know what? Something can be factually perfect, objectively perfect. Oh, this system is balanced and correct, and it still may not feel good. Conversely, something might feel good and actually not, might only feel good for a few people. A great example is when we were talking about the pair matchmaker, and we were talking about, well, if you're one of those top tiers that got into that pair matchmaking scheme versus one of the low tiers that got in there, well, yeah, maybe you feel good, but the people who got in on the low tier side didn't feel as good. So we have to balance that too. You know, somebody once told me that the best definition of fair is to make everybody equally miserable. I think that's true, but I also don't think that's useful for a game. We want to make everyone as happy as we can while accepting that, you know, you can't feed one person's fun at the expense of another person's fun. Even if it means both of them maybe have a little less fun overall, you want them to have some fun rather than I have all the fun, you have none of the fun. And then maybe next time it flips. That's not necessarily my goal. So I don't know if I answered your question, Chuji, but that's kind of how I'm looking at this. And at any feature where there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of controversy over what decision did we make? Why did we make it? Is this good? Is this bad? I love it. I hate it. I would like to get us to a place where we balance that out.
No, I totally, like, you did answer my question. I really enjoy getting everyone's perspectives, and I have the selfish honor of being able to one-on-one ask you questions in front of however many people are watching this. But it's also interesting because I super care about the perspectives of all our types of players, being whether you've played us, 10 battles in PvE and you just unlocked PvP, or you've been with us for 140,000 plus battles. Like, the perspective is going to be radically different, and all of those perspectives are valid. So it's one of my personal enjoyments to try to receive all of that in order to make an intelligent decision. And it's just very interesting to hear how you're coming at these problems as well. So thank you.
And I'm not going to pretend like I'm going to get it all right either. I mean, I am.
You're not?
I'm sorry. I know that I tell you internally. I know I tell everybody inside the team that I'm infallible and that I'm never wrong. But no, that's not reality. I am a fallible human being, and I will get some stuff wrong. However, like I said, it's not all me. I don't just make decisions and say, okay, I made this decision. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's wrong. We are going to make decisions, and that means the team. And that means in, consultation with people who know the nitty-gritty details, in consultation with people who understand what the community wants and are speaking on behalf of the community, and everything in between. It's got to be collaborative that way because, quite honestly, I can't do it any other way. That's my limitation as a human being, is that I have to work that way because I can't fill in all those gaps by myself. Some people are really good at that, and they're amazing people, but I'm not one of them.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? There is a bunch of Q&A piling up, but I know there's another video to talk about. Well, we will, and we'll get to as many as we can. But I think you have something else that you wanted to bring up. Is that true, or am I?
Yeah. That thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one more for you. Yeah. Now that I've already talked about MOE, let's talk about Arty. And believe me, I loved it when this whole thing came together. Said, by the way, we'd like you to come on the stream, and one of the things we need to talk about is Arty. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let's come in cold and talk about Arty. No pressure. Let me say this: it's kind of similar to the MOE thing in that, like, I'm committed to getting my hands around it and figuring out what we can do, what we can't do, what makes sense, what doesn't. I know that we've done some things already. Improved tracers, the targeted status, things like that, in an attempt to begin to shift where Arty is, today. Yeah. And I understand
mostly up to this point.
It's the single most polarizing thing in the game, arguably. I accept that, and I understand that, like, that's not a thing that we can, take lightly. It's a thing that we have to move, and this may be frustrating, and I apologize if it is, but, like, I believe that we need to move conservatively on it, and we do incremental things, and then we see how it goes. To that end, what was promised in the recent past was that we would do a bunch of updates to the US Arty line and test those out. Looking into that, the team got to a place where we said, the problem with doing those changes is that they are super hard to measure in terms of impact, because quite honestly, a good experiment has to produce measurable results that we can look at and say, okay, this tells us something. We could take action on these. That's a good experiment for a video game to do. In this case, we looked at it and said, well, if we tune the US Arty numbers, yeah, we could test those out, say, for example, in the super test, and get feedback there on a very small controlled scale. But putting those changes out into the wild, out into the game in production, wouldn't get us great results because you can't guarantee how many people will play those. You can't guarantee that people won't avoid them altogether and just say, you know what? As long as they're getting tweaked, I'm not even touching those. I'm going to go play the Arty I always play that I'm comfortable with. We may not even get good data. And so we said, all right, let's rethink this. And let's come back with some Arty ideas that we can measure and that we can confidently say, this was a good change. Let's keep it. Nah, this change was a dud. Who cares? This change actually was actively negative for a significant number of players. Let's not do that. That's kind of the decision making that we want to engage in going forward for Arty. So that's where we are. We've got a couple ideas on the drawing board. I am not going to articulate them now because people who are much smarter than me are going to articulate those. And hopefully once we've fleshed those out, I'm going to communicate those, or Chuji or BAM or Tankz0rz is going to communicate those to you on an upcoming stream. So I know it might not be super satisfying to hear please stay tuned, but please stay tuned. We got stuff coming for sure, but it's not going to be the tweak that we originally promised because I don't think it measures well.
Yeah, I think like if I were to put on my I'm just a tanker listening hat, I could even be like, but you promised. And I actually appreciate that perspective for anybody who's saying that. And I think the perspective we're taking is measure as many times as it takes, cut as few times as possible to change stuff. Because another thing you said is Arty is one of our most polarizing topics. The people who play artillery clearly love their vehicles because their attachment to those vehicles, just in terms of number owned to battles, is really actually exciting to see. However, it doesn't matter how many people like it if it makes you throw your controller through the wall every time there's even a red square, right? So we want to make sure to get that right. But I also want to acknowledge, because we've been talking about this a lot, if this is being received by anybody, and I 100% understand if it is being received as like, oh, we're about to change it. No, we're not going to change it. That's going to be frustrating. And I think the only way to acknowledge that is to just straight up say like, yeah, I would feel the same way. And I totally appreciate that feeling, but we want to make sure we get this right. As well as all of the feedback stuff you mentioned that is already in the game and has been in the game for at least a while now. I don't remember exactly when like all of those visual and audio feedback things you mentioned went in. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head. But I really appreciate you getting on camera and talking about this stuff. Like this is a controversial subject, and it needs to be talked about. It needs to be brought out in the open and have serious thought, and not knee jerk.
And just to be clear, I agree with the points you're making there about it, and I'm certainly not like, oh, hooray, let's frustrate players by not doing the thing we just said we were going to do. I get that. I totally do. And I'm accountable for that, right? As live game director, I'm accountable for saying, hey, we're not going to do the tweaks to the US line that we originally said we were going to do. That's on me. And I understand I don't have unlimited runway or trust with anybody, right? You guys have to see what we do and decide, okay, this is credible, I believe in this, or no, this guy's a bozo and I don't like him in his stupid hat. All of that's fair, and I'm open to all of that. I do hope you'll give me the benefit of the doubt while I work this Arty problem a little bit and see if we can get ourselves to a better place, because I do think the team has some interesting ideas that would potentially do fun things in the game, and maybe even get us to a place where we're not just at the binary of don't touch it or remove it from the game entirely, which is, I would really like to move us away from that place in terms of the discussion, if at all possible. So I hope you'll give me the benefit of the doubt while I try to do that.
No, I appreciate that. So it turns out, who said that? British human. What a live game director does is make darn sure he is confident in a change before he has it implemented. There you go. I think that's a good way to put it.
That's fair.
Let's keep going on a high note. I give you the teaser announcement. You want to talk about some teaser stuff?
Teasers. Okay. Well, I have one. I do have one.
Gotcha.
Here's a hint. It is one of Darwin's famous theories.
Is it dogs barking?
A dog barking. Yes. Just now you guys know I have dogs. Very sorry about that. So here's a hint as to what our upcoming season will be called. It is one of Darwin's famous theories.
There you go. Repeat it so you all get it. Do we have something to show off?
Nothing to show off. But
nothing to show off, just a hint.
Just a hint. But you know what we do have? I think we could give another one of those tanks away here with the dragon skin, don't you think?
Are we going to really be that generous? We're going to give away another one, and we're going to put the skin on that one too?
Might as well.
All right. And people are already entered? Is that what you're going to be claiming?
If they're entered already, you're good. If they haven't entered, go ahead. I just dropped the link and enter that.
You know, I appreciate that. You know, all this talk of giving stuff away. One of the things I wanted to talk about is I was super bummed to have missed the last Extra Life. I always, that 2 to 4 a.m. window, that was always so much fun for me. And I always remember going into that thing going, oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m. my time, wherever you are in your time. It's 2 a.m. Chicago time when I would do that. And it would go, those 2 hours would disappear. They'd evaporate. It was like 15 minutes for me. It was always so much fun. I think I'm bringing that up during our chitty chats about another giveaway, because I also really enjoy, giving away 1 or 2 kind of milquetoast things, like really, really simple things like, oh, I don't know, everything. So I don't know, I was thinking maybe in the next couple of weeks, like maybe I can make up for that absence. And I don't know. I'm not promising anything, not promising I'll give away everything. I'm not saying I'll even give away anything, but I think maybe sometime in the next 2 weeks, if everyone here doesn't wrestle me to the ground and gag me, I might take some liberties and really throw around some fun giveaways for anybody who wants to hang out and watch us talk. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that's something we should think about for the future? Maybe talk about it before we commit? Do you think anybody would be interested? I don't know. Just a thought I had.
I'm game. Let's do stuff. I like doing stuff.
I enjoy your just frank, like, no, yes, do that.
Keep it simple, right?
What would make giving stuff as humanly, painfully painful as possible for the people that actually have to deliver the goods I reward? Because that needs to be considered as well, for better or for worse. Because I remember the last time I did this, it wasn't a simple process. Any war stories there?
Yeah, I don't know if the tools have changed or the process have changed, but I remember when I invoiced every tank to this player, which I still remember his name. I think he was in chat today. It took pretty much a whole workday of just typing every single ID for every single tank. Yeah, it took a long time. That's
a lot of invoices. Yes.
Yep.
And then verifying that everything went through. So it was fun, but I'm sure the player appreciated it. So
that player's worth it.
I'm sure the server did not appreciate it.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you got an email from the server saying, "Why are you hurting me?"
I believe that was in order. Yes.
But don't worry, I won't let that stop me. I'll think of something fun.
But you know what, Chuji? I'm not in charge of that anymore, so someone else could take care of it.
Well, then if I'm not inflicting pain on you, just give away the farm multiple times, maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. Again, no promises, because the second I promise something, I have to do it. So I'll just think about it, and we'll gauge interest. If everyone in the chat right now is like, "Nah, I don't like giveaways," then I won't do it. It's up to the players. All right, I'm going to cook through some Q&A. I'm looking. Let me actually move, because I am on my computer here. I'm moving my cheat sheet so it looks like I'm looking at the camera. If either of you wants to grab a question, interrupt me. But I'm going to start with the follow-up questions first, because those are from last week, and I think that's just fair in terms of order of operations. All right, we have Shop Healthy asks, has it been considered to make areas of the map more available and or concealed, i.e. freezing the middle river on Erlenberg, or adding more foliage to an otherwise very open, flattish area like Malinovka? 2 things on that. We've done it before. There were weather variants and different war variants that we've done that actually did impact the concealment or the geography. So I'm not against it. There are no current plans, but I actually think using the environments that everyone's been using for 140,000 battles, shall we say, in a different way, is exciting to me, and I think that's something we should explore. So the freezing Middle River and Erlenberg kind of made me think of that. Another thing is I remember year one Xbox 360 after we launched, like I was in a battle and I couldn't tell you in what tier in Malinovka, and I believe I was on the north team and we were guarding the no man's land to the eastish, kind of middle of the map east, so not the hill, not the windmill, and the south team almost en masse just started charging across the open field. And I remember saying, like, you're all going to die. No one goes across the field as, oh my God, they're going to win. Because the match was so new, and the way that Tankz typically plays out wasn't something that was in these gamers' memories yet. And they were playing the map as they thought it should be played. And they actually, when 15 foes charged the Malinovka open field, you're probably going to take the other side at the very least. I don't know if you're going to win guaranteed, but that is a valid tactic. And I remember that. And I'm wondering how adding more foliage or anything into that area might influence the meta of Malinovka. That's super exciting to me to consider. So that's a cool one. Again, I'm going to keep going till you interrupt me, anybody. The next one is from Exported Milk, which honestly, well, I guess it's leaving. Whoever gets that milk, whoever's importing that milk, I hope the refrigeration on the method of transportation was acceptable. Would you look at reducing smoke that the ATGMs produce when fired from the Bradley specifically? Although I bet it's all ATGMs. It's pretty bad because the smoke covers 90% of the screen, especially probably if you're using triple zone equipment, and it's hard enough aiming ATGMs as it is. There is a ticket to look into that issue, and so yes, we are looking into that. 0560 says, is it possible to get the WZ-114 Tier 9 heavy tank? It is, theoretically anything's possible. It's just typing, right? But we don't currently have this tank on the release schedule. We'll keep it in mind, and I thank you very much, Zio. I think I said Zero. It's actually Zio 560. I appreciate that. And from, oh dear, Degeneratio? Did I pull that off?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, cool. Is it possible during your second round of mercenaries to add a high tier tank destroyer and also an SPG? Tank destroyer, we could certainly consider. I'm not 100% sure on a new SPG. I mean, we just had a really healthy conversation on what actions are we going to take for the SPG ecosystem as a whole. And it might be best to make some new, or to not make new SPGs until we understand 100% to the nuance, to the grandiose, what SPGs need to be, and you all want them to be. But I also will say, if anybody has ideas for a kit-bashed mercenary vehicle that they think would be really cool and fun to play in the game, like, don't hold back. Let's hear your ideas there too, because that is a target-rich environment to consider.
For sure.
Rock on. I'm gonna keep going again. If I know I'm repeating myself now, do you have any questions that are calling out to you, or do you want me to just keep cooking with gas?
Keep going, man. I'm with you.
All right. Practice. I almost said practice turret. Practice Tunay. Or Tunet, but I think it's Tunay. Says, can you buff the Marksava 3 armor, please? We're actually looking into an issue with the all of the Marksava, well, 3 of the Marksavas in regards to their engines, which is playing a part in the armor. So there is a ticket on that. That will likely result in a buff when we fix it, even if it's just fixing a bug. That will give it the desired result. We'll keep you in tune on when that changes, if it does. Mr. Burger 00 or Mr. Burger surprised face. I'm not sure if that was an attempt at a ASCII emoji. Is it worth waiting for a premium Marksava? It might be a long wait because we don't have any premium Marksavas currently planned. Do you have one in mind you want to see in the game? Let us know. Mosh Pity. Can we get an armor viewer that shows effective armor with all layers included? This comes up a lot, and it is complex on console. But having an armor viewer on the website is a really good way to accomplish this. I'm not going to close the door completely because I'm going to challenge the dev team to keep thinking about what we could do in the client, if anything, which isn't a promise, but I think this comes up like weekly ? So it is always more convenient, and we all know this, to be right there on your couch playing your PlayStation or Xbox and being tell me more, click a button, you see more there. So that door is not closed, but the website's another way we can also tackle this.
Hey, one sec. Let me do one thing real quick, because I saw a question here saying, Deebo, can you turn a little to the side so we can see the wallpaper? I just want to take care of that. So pardon me just a moment while I step out of frame. Here you go.
Did somebody ask that question? Did he pay you $5? Oh, it's flickering kind of weird. It's flicker. There you go. Now you've there you go. That's cool. That's cool. So when you use an image as your background, sometimes it freaks out if you get out of frame, but that is cool.
There you go.
Cool.
So you've had a quick look at the glory of the wallpaper, and you'll be seeing more of this.
Is that another hint? Sneak peek?
That's a promise.
Oh, it's oh my gosh. Speaking of promises, let me know when we give away our giveaway, and let me know when I'm running hot, because I'm just going to keep cooking through these. Caffeina. Oh man. Somewhere in my caffeine is a little blood. Can we please get a Swedish on track and potentially a UDES 1516 reforged? We've been cycling through various lines with both previous bonuses and on-track events. Swedish tanks will come up some point. Wow. Almost said will come up some point. But we'll keep an eye out for that. Also, the UDES 1516 is sitting at a nice 50%. It's slightly above, actually 50.3 if you really want to get to technical. That's its win rate. It seems to be doing well currently. We could take a closer look in the future, though. Another thing I'm going to say on that is we could take a look at its sliced by skill, because sometimes you get a lot of pros playing it, which actually boosts the win rate or hides a flaw. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll look at it as it's comparing to other similar classes and tiers to make sure that that's a good call. But so far, we don't see statistically a red flag. It doesn't mean we won't keep looking. Gunny 531, I see another Magach in the background based on, what? I always pronounce that like Gach from the franchise, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say online on a stream, but I'm going to keep doing that just because I enjoy it. Kapla. Anyway, is there another Magach in the background based on the M48? Is that coming? And the season art, is this kind of related to what you just showed us? The season art's right behind you, Dan. And I just revealed your that might answer your question. I hope that answers your question.
You are such a disappointment to me.
My real name's Jeff, so quid pro quo.
Okay. Now it's more like Mutton, Jeff.
There we go.
Yes, it is there. How did that get there? I do not know. I will now feign surprised. Where did this come from?
The secret is it's actually on the back wall of your office, and you somehow have it rigged to flicker if you get up. Righty. Henry Moreira. If I mispronounce, man, I'm mangling that. That's on me. That's not on you.
That would be Henry Moreira.
Thank you. I apologize. Are you going to put skins on the Marksava someday? Like a Marksava Mark 3D? Or, yeah, Mark 3D kind of looking. We don't have any in the schedule. But, man, me personally, as well as the entire team, wants to get skins on everything someday. It's just time-consuming process, and we're pumping them out as fast as we can. Let's put that one on the list and figure out what that would look like and figure out when it should exist. A
sarcastic Pengu.
How do you're really good at that. I just see like Scrabble.
I can read the names.
It's your superpower. I lack that.
It's how I got through school, is reading the names.
Why don't you ask read the question and see if you got an answer.
So a sarcastic Pengu asks, would a text chat system be possible to better communicate with players who don't use the current in-game chat? Honestly, I don't think that's in the cards. The biggest problem with it isn't so much technical as procedural. It would require moderation, and also just, given the nature of the game, I'm not exactly certain how anybody finds enough time to type like an actual real text message, with the control. Now, granted, those of you who are keyboard and mouse, I'm not saying that wouldn't be a possibility for you guys, but on a controller, that's going to be a lot of work, like just in terms of the raw time it takes you to input characters. And I'm not quite certain how you're going to survive a match if you're typing messages into a text chat on your controller. That's my 2 cents on that one.
Cool. You want to keep cooking, or you
Sure.
want to hand it off?
Take a few here. Roguish Hound. Oh, this is one for our very own Lady O. Can we get some ops for skins? And the answer is yes, you can. That is from Lady O herself. Novafire 55 wants to know, are there any plans to buff the TCM AGS? There are no plans at this time. At the moment, it's the #1 detente light tank with a fairly tidy 51.6% win rate. So no, not right now. Now, if that number changes, okay, maybe we'll take a look. Then we have Dant KND 98. Oh, I already covered this one. This was the background one. My apologies. I'm repeating myself. Yes, you've seen the background. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Keep your eyes out for more of that. Dave GM asks, well, actually, they don't ask.
Are you going to do this?
They share a wonderful Weird Al style song verse with us. Something to the tune of, I'm a Barbie girl in a battlefield. My tank is bright pink. Your shells just went clink. You can hit me there, but you'll bounce me everywhere. My life is drastic. Camping is no tactic.
There's something about it being spoken word which is beautiful.
I'm a big fan of Patrick Stewart reading anything, or Christopher Walken reading any song lyric. It just kind of works. All right, what do we got next?
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm going to make an executive decision.
Is
it possible to give iDave GM just a week of premium time? I mean, he gave us a song. Let's just do that if that's possible.
I love it. Let's reward his creativity there.
Let's do it.
Can we do that, guys?
Let's do it.
All right. Done. 1 week, 7 days. Enjoy
that, and keep sending us stuff like that. That's fun for us.
Oh, now we're gonna get an avalanche.
It's fun for you too.
Yeah.
What are we on to here?
Reforge question.
What line?
It's a question about the Reforge we're about to release.
Go ahead, take that one, please.
All right. Well, it's going to impact the heavy tanks of the USSR line, tier 6 through 9, and it is not limited to a single line. So more details will be coming if that's confusing when it comes online, but it isn't confined to a specific single line.
Okay, I got to do the next one. Sorry, this is a selfish one. This is just for me. General question from the chat: pink tanks?
Yes.
I love this question. My answer is, what kind of pink tanks? Do they have cat ears, perhaps?
Oh,
how
dear
many different
Lord.
shades of pink? And most importantly, what dollar amount would you attach to a pink tank?
You're not just going to give the people pink tanks?
I'm just measuring market opportunity here, sir.
Wow. Okay, where it's like another question about your job title.
Just
in all
wondering,
seriousness,
how many people do we think would really like to own a pink tank? I'm super curious about the answer to that.
I'm not sure. I will tell you one thing, though, and this is in all seriousness. Right now in the game, there is one of the desert camos, which his name is going to escape me, which is a patterned. It's not a solid, but parts of it read to me pink. So if you look into the desert camo, golly gee willikers, I don't remember the name of it. Maybe somebody can shoot me in the chat what the name of that sucker is if they know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's the Omani Desert. Yeah, that one is as close as you can get to pink now, and I believe anything that can use that camo, yes, it's confined to the desert aesthetic, but there is an opportunity there. And now that we've talked so much about this, maybe it's actually getting considered. I don't know. That's kind of intriguing. Cooking a gas still. Can we have tanks with preferential treatment as a filter? It's certainly something we can look into. I think we're also trying to better communicate which vehicles have special matchmaking. That actually gets really challenging because as you're considering your tank's tier, you have to also consider like what your foes may be, and because of pref matchmaking, it's not always apples to apples. So yeah, that's something we could totally consider because you might be show me all my pref matchmaking tanks, which is exactly what this would do. Or even if you're in the premium tech tree, show me all the tanks I could purchase that have pref matchmaking because that's what I'm into, and that's also seems to have value. So I think we'll look in both of those places for those filters.
Fair enough.
And yep.
Voodoo 5150. Any news on being able to zoom out further in free look? We have no plans to do that at this time. That doesn't mean it's not a thing that couldn't become a plan at some point in the future, but no, we haven't been hearing a lot of demand for that, quite honestly. So, you know, that could change, but right now, no plans. Corbin 020, midway through the question about the Hellfire Pass. Okay.
We're back.
Do we want to go back online or just give it away with text?
We're back.
We're back now. We're hot.
We're hot.
Hey, we're hot.
Okay. Ignore everything you may have heard or did not hear. So
we were told
just to wrap
offline
up on the
20
Hellfire
over.
Pass thing. Yes, Hellfire Pass is coming very end of August, tail end of August. Hellfire Pass. Hopefully, you will all enjoy that. Scott Ego asks, are there any plans for multiple loadouts for crew tank like on PC? No current plans, but this is something that we will keep in mind.
You want to keep cooking or you want to give away?
We got one last one, and then we should probably move rapidly to wrap up here, right? Say that 10 times fast. Maybe a Polish tank. Oh, this is from Lope de Aguirre. Maybe a Polish tank on Cold War. Shall we do the final wrap up here?
Yeah, let's give away our giveaway and then thank everybody for staying with us so long. 20 over. I hope it was exciting. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're having some tech difficulties, but let's give away the goodness and then call it a day and thank everybody for sticking with us about 20 minutes over.
Very much appreciate everyone's time.
All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. And our winner is, drumroll please, Jack XII. Congratulations, Jaxie.
Congratulations to you. And enjoy.
Are you sure that's not Jack 12?
It is not Jack 12. It's Jaxie. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. And for those of you on Twitch, stay tuned. We'll host and raid one of our community contributors. For everyone else, have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you on the battlefield.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for having us, guys. Appreciate you all. Have a good weekend.
Take care. All right. We're good. Oh, you're good. Thank you very much, guys. No, everyone seemed interested and we had consistent numbers. So good across the board on my end. Alrighty. All right, take care, guys. Thank you very much.